What's up, beautiful people? My name is Derek Standifer, and today I have the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of having Miss Natalia Mack with us today. Miss Natalia, how are you today, good ma'am?
I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm absolutely wonderful. First of all, thank you for agreeing to do an interview. Second of all, thank you for your service to mankind and womankind. You were one of the first people who gave me my opportunity to teach young people chess and teach young people Rubik's Cube, and I am forever grateful for that experience. And now you serve as the principal of Kingdom Life, and you're
Yes.
doing an amazing job fulfilling that role. So thank you for your
Thank
service, good
you.
man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So here on Solving Sundays, what we do is
Mhm.
juxtapose solving the twists and turns of the Rubik's Cube to solving the twists and turns of life. And today we're going to be highlighting an event that you have put on for the past 3 years, Capital City's Children's Day.
Yes.
And so that's what we're going to be highlighting today. So the first
Perfect.
step of solving the Rubik's Cube, the first step of solving life is to believe. So a lot of people pick up the Rubik's Cube and they can't solve it simply because they don't believe in themselves. So what gave you the belief that you can put on an event like Capital City Children's Day, good man?
Wonderful. So thank you again so much for having me. It is totally an honor. And I am the co-founder of Capital City Children's Day.
Mm,
Myself, along with Alex Jordan, birthed this idea 3 years ago when we were thinking about how can businesses give back to children as it relates to the specific area of science, technology, engineering, and math. Because one thing is always true: children are a part of a community, and every community has a business. So, where there may be issues with schools not having adequate programming, instead of talking about the problem, we wanted to approach it from a solution based mindset. And what we basically came up with is a way for businesses to collaborate once a year during Capital City Children's Day. Now, in the beginning, it was not Capital City Children's Day, it was just Children's Day. So, you know how you have Mother's Day, Father's Day. So, the United States honors children every year in the month of June. It's just not popularized. Yes. So,
mm,
what we ended up doing was we created a plan, and we proposed the plan to the commission. And I want to say it was maybe 2 or 3 months after we designed the idea. And when we presented it to Mayor Daley and the City of Tallahassee commissioners, we were able to receive a proclamation for every second Sunday in the month of June being proclaimed as Capital City Children's Day.
mm. Congratulations. That's how you put your feet to the fire. That's how you do it, good man. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm glad you just explained this to me. So I'm actually writing my dissertation on the Robert Hungerford School in Eatonville, Florida, and I'm juxtaposing how they were able to form valuable relationships with the stakeholders in the community. So it is very interesting to see the work that you're doing, good man.
Yes, and
Uh,
I am from, not to interrupt you, Derek, but I am from Orlando. So Eatonville
mm,
actually, it was very near and dear to me. My parents and I would often go walking around the track that was located, I want to say, at Wymore. So I'm very familiar
mhm.
with the Eatonville area and the Zora Neale Hurston Festival and all of that good stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we have Miss Kivia Lane. She says, "Hey, family." She does amazing, phenomenal work in the city of Atlanta. Yeah, 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 yeah. Also, after we believe in ourselves, that brings us to step number two of solving the Rubik's cube. Is step number two of solving life. Step
Yeah,
number two is to solve your cross. Now, solving your cross means to identify your why, your reasons. What gave you motivation to what was the reason, the motivation behind Capital City Children's Day?
wonderful. The heart of the matter is always for me unity. I believe that where one person may find an issue, once they communicate that issue to someone else in that moment, that individual has the opportunity to either create the problem and make it bigger or to
Mhm.
solve it, very much like what you do with the Rubik's Cube. So for me, the core is unity, collaboration, and creativity. That is the only way that we can make this event take place. That's the only way that we can expand it into more opportunities for children and community to come together.
Mhm. Amazing, amazing. So after we solve our cross, you'll notice that the cross resembles a plus sign. And in
Yes.
this when in the plus sign is to keep your battery charged up in this journey called life. So you've been doing this event for 3 years, and I know there's sometimes houses with keeping events consistent, but you kept your why at the center and kept this event going on for 3 years, and hopefully and perfectly that we can see Capital City Children's Day going on for the next 30 years and 300 years, and
Yes,
it can bless
yes.
people in the city of Tallahassee. Let me Miss Gian Jones, she's checking in with us today. She says greetings. We got Mr.
Yes.
Derek Bell. He checks in and says awesome. I think there's a connection right there. Mr. Derek Bell, he does amazing work. That deals with single parenthood, single fatherhood to be specific. And we got Mr.
Awesome.
Terrence Barber. I know you took your children on a field trip
Yes.
to Railroad Square. Mr. Barber was there to greet y'all. He
Yes.
does amazing work in the city of Tallahassee. Thank you for your service, good sir.
Thank you.
So after we solve our cross, that brings us to step number 3 of solving the Rubik's Cube. And step number 3 of solving the Rubik's Cube and of solving life is to fill in your corners. Now filling in your corners means to surround yourself with people who will push you and motivate you to be the best version of yourself. And if you
Yeah.
can see the cube, once you fill in your corners, we have an entire side of the Rubik's Cube solved, and that provides you with a solid foundation. So
Absolutely.
what kind of people do you put in your circle that allow for this idea to be planted and fertilized? And now, we're seeing the event grow. So, who are kind of people in your circle that allow for this event to be possible?
Wonderful. So I could honestly take all day to answer that.
Mm, mm,
One of the most significant things that I've realized about the people that actually do pour into this initiative is that they're people who refuse to stop learning.
mm.
The moment that we stop learning, we stop growing. And so when we come together and we collaborate as it relates to ideas, visions, creativity, we merge that and we turn it into one big ball of faith. And then we do the work that accompanies that faith, and we can accomplish those goals. So I
Mhm.
will honestly say that everyone that's been interested, everyone that's been invested, everyone that's dedicated time, they've just committed to never stop growing, never stop inventing. And therefore we can make this happen.
So, first of all, we need people on this earth who make it their mission to never stop growing, never get to a point where we're content in life. And it actually
Absolutely.
feeds us into step number 4 of solving the Rubik's Cube and
Okay.
of solving life. Step 4 of solving the Rubik's Cube is to take it to the next level. Now,
Wow.
taking it to the next level is a metaphor for continuing to grow, continuing to get better, never stop growing. I like to think of myself not as a human being, but as a human becoming, because we
Yeah.
can always become a better version of ourselves. And I love to be around people who constantly making a mission to stay committed to their progression and their prosperity. So, step number 4 is
Mhm.
taking it to the next level. So, how do you continue to grow? How will you continue to grow Capital City's Youth Day, Children's Day? I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem. It's been a blessing actually being in the classroom primarily in addition to being a business consultant. I
Mm,
learned how to promote and grow this event by actually talking to children. We are actually in the developmental stages of two major, I don't even want to call them events, but we're wanting to expand what we're currently doing with Capital City Children's Day. And before we even develop a board, I will be talking with Mr. Jordan about putting children on the board.
mm,
It's so important to have them represented at the ideation stage, because when you don't, we can overlook their creativity, their contribution. And when we do that, we also can displace their ability to have buy-in. So that is how we are going to grow and move forward. We're going to include the actual children who represent who this initiative is for.
I think it's amazing that you include in children on the board and have more leadership roles. One, because children are the most important stakeholders when it comes to our school settings, when it comes to events and organizations like Capital City Children's Day. Children are the most important stakeholders, and we
Yeah,
need to start at an early age to develop and nurture their leadership skills. They need to
absolutely.
learn how to make decisions at an early age. So
Absolutely.
thank you for your service to the babies. Thank you for your service to the babies. And Miss Lane, she concurs with with a yes. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. And I can attest that from firsthand experience that you are truly committed to the well-being and the progression of these babies. Your daughter just graduated from high school, and then she's now embarking on a journey to the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. So yeah, congratulations on that milestone. And
Thank
also, you
you.
serve as a principal of Kingdom Life Preparatory.
Yes,
In your work, I know the staff at Kingdom Life, and they're very committed and invested into the community, into the youth of Tallahassee. So,
absolutely.
let me see, Mr. Barber. This boy just getting sharper and sharper. Mr. Mr. Barber, man, you're part of the company that you keep. When I started to keep individuals like myself, like yourself in my circle, man, that's when I started to get a little sharper. So I appreciate the blessing, good sir. So the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube, the fifth and the final step of solving life is to see the bigger picture. The seeing the bigger picture simply means to keep your commitment to your commitments. You know, when you set a goal, we have to see the goal until we got to plant the seed, we got to fertilize the seed, we got to give it good sunlight, and we got to make sure that it becomes a fruit producing tree. So, when it came to planting this seed over 3 years ago, how do you make it a mission to keep your commitment to your commitments and see this thing through 3 years later? And you know, I know you have a long-term plan for Capital City Children's Day. So, what's the long-term goal, and how do you keep your commitment to your commitments with this goal?
Wonderful, wonderful. So one of the things that I always promise myself to never do is become committed to something that I do not believe in. So as it relates to this initiative, I'm not committed to a financial goal. I'm not committed to anything that is rooted in ego. I am committed to the children. And it's something near and dear to my heart because I've been in education for almost 22 years. I was homeschooled from kindergarten to 10th grade. I've seen my mom pour into me. I've seen what authenticity looks like, what it feels like. And our children need that. I was recently speaking with Adam K, and I was explaining to him that all of the projects that are taking place in Tallahassee are beautiful. But until we get the youth of the South Side deeply committed to the vision that we have as adults, then we will have a disconnect. So that was the primary reason for my students coming out on that day. I wanted them to see Mr. Terrence Barber putting in the work. I wanted them to meet Adam K. So when we talk about loitering and littering, those problems are big because these children do not feel as if the community belongs to them. They think that they just live there. But when they can actually say, this is ours, they will protect that and they will value that, and they have to be seen and represented.
You know, there's a quote, Frederick Douglass, I love. It's better to build strong boys and girls than to repair broken men and women. And in order to build strong boys and girls, you need that bridge the gap between, you know, the wise and the youth. We have to bridge that gap. And when you bring the community together, when you bring people like Terrence Barber and introduce them to the youth, and you can see they can see what's possible. You know, we got to show mentors, and we have to show what mentors to show hey, I can do this. You know, I can be a business owner. I can be a successful entrepreneur in my community, and it's so important that we bring these babies and bridge that gap. So, thank you for your mission, and thank you for your service to mankind.
One more thing, Derek, I do want to let you know that Capital City Children's Day currently is STEM based. So we have everyone from Gulf Winds Credit Union, Florida Commerce. We have so many different businesses just pouring into this event, and we're so grateful for that. But this year, we do have plans on next year, including the arts, so that children can actually demonstrate and experience art-based initiatives as well, because the sky is truly the limit. So definitely want to as well.
Come on. So Miss Mack, you've been endorsed by some pretty amazing individuals. Terrence Barber said I like her. Miss Lane, come on now. We got Miss Gian Jones, me too. She is a light. And she's the mother of PMD Click. She might be a patron of Capital City Children's Day. Terrence Barber. To create a village mentality, we must include all villages. Come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This quote right here reminds me of myself. I'm a community child. You know, a lot of people had some prayers and some hands and some investments in raising me. And the beauty in that, right? When you take a kid and you give them somebody that they want to make proud, they'll move mountains for that person. You want to give kids people that they want to make proud. So the work that you're doing is really, really touching my spirit.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Touche,
So
touche.
um, we so after we get to the point where we have kept our commitments, and we see the bigger picture, we get to a point where we have solved our Rubik's cube, right?
Right.
But now there's a bonus step. Now, we seen people try to take the stickers off the Rubik's cube when they try to solve it. So, when you try to take the stickers off the Rubik's cube, you mess up the Rubik's cube. Now, in life, if you try to find shortcuts in life, all you do is mess up your life. So, while we got you, we got to take advantage of the wisdom that you offer. So, what kind of last minute words of wisdom that you want to leave the people who are watching this episode of Solve Sundays?
Sure. So I want to just encourage everyone to embody something that I tell some of my students when they appear to be at their lowest moment. And one of the things I always tell them is that there is absolutely never going to be any correction from me unless there is connection with me. So I always lead with love. I want people to know that as we are building and creating on the adult side, we must bring the children along. We must let them see. We must put them in these rooms with these blueprints. We must give them paintbrushes. We must give them shovels. We must give them laptops. We need to CC the children as well so that they can see what's happening in their community. And if we don't know how to do that, get with the people who can, the developers, get with the teachers. We can make this happen. We can make this happen, and we can actually sustain everything that's happening here in Tallahassee.
Come on, Ms. Mack. I wholeheartedly concur. Education is a communal effort. It's so crazy. I'm reading. I'm doing my research as I'm writing my dissertation,
Yes.
and early Black leaders, right after the Civil War, during Reconstruction, Black people understood that youth education was a communal effort. The church was involved. The Black businesses were involved. Everybody was involved in uplifting the children. And now we're bringing this concept back together. In Tallahassee, I think, is a perfect place to plant that seed of communal education amongst our babies. So preach for the babies. Awesome season finale. So Miss Mack, I don't think I told you this, but today represents the season finale of Solve It Sundays. We've been doing this show for today marks one full year of Solve It Sundays, and this is such an honor, a privilege, and a blessing to have you on to conclude season one, season finale. I greatly appreciate it. So thank you for your service again.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we greatly appreciate the blessings. So Capital City's Children's Day is this Saturday from 12 to 6. I've been sharing the flyers on my social media.
Not 12 to 6. Okay, not 12 to 6. Okay. So I'm gonna just hold this up. Capital City Children's Day, in case you see this flyer is around. It is from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. And it is going to be located at FAMU Way Market area. So that's directly across the street from Railroad Square Craft House. It is right off FAMU Way and McDonald Drive next to the children's playground area. So there is going to be a main stage. We're going to have a warm welcome by Mayor Daley, myself, and Mr. Alex Jordan, the co-founder of the event. And then our theme this year, Derek, is Let's Move Tallahassee. Everyone has kind of been, kind of out of respect to COVID-19. We want to get these children out. We want to get them aerobic. We want to get them moving so that they can start off the summer full of hope and understand how it's connected to STEM. So.
Thank you for that correction. My apologies. I have been sharing the flyers on my social media. We will see y'all this Saturday at FAMU Way. Will it be with the stage where they had the South Side Tallahassee?
Okay. No. So it is. Are you familiar with where the children's playground is off of
Very familiar. My kids are there all the time. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you walk just a little further, I want to say west, just maybe a few steps, you can run into Railroad Craft House. So you know where that is, the restaurant.
Okay. Familiar with Railroad and
Yes. So there is an actual field area where we're going to have a stage set up. So we're going to be doing Zumba with Chocolate Fitness, Wasted, with Jasmine Richardson Sutton. And we're going to just have a whole lot going on the stage that day, but it's something you cannot miss. So
they host the African dance classes over there in that field too. where they
Okay,
host the African
awesome.
dance players. Yep. For every
Awesome.
Terrence Barber said, what's the age range?
Sure. So we are doing kindergarten through 12th grade. This year,
Mhm.
we are going to post the main stage agenda or itinerary. We are going to have a grand finale with a dance competition for the youth. We are going to advertise and post that as well, so kids can understand that for $250, if you have the best dance moves, you can win it all. So we're
Mm.
gonna get that out probably tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, cool. So again, from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul, thank you for your service to mankind and womankind. We appreciate the blessings, and we will see you this Saturday, good man. For those of y'all who watching, thank y'all for tuning in with us as we enjoyed one full year of Solve It Sundays. I greatly appreciate the guests, the viewers. Thank y'all for supporting. It's been a beautiful blessing, good people. It's been a beautiful blessing. And Miss Mack, if you can stay on for a hot second,
Sure.
and for we can chat offline. For those of y'all who watching, y'all be great like the lakes, be blessed like a sneeze. Peace and blessings, love and light. Mm, 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 mm.